George, give us a snappy, quirky thing to say before the intro music kicks in.
Earlier, Giles' mum asked me if I'd been working out my upper body.
George just said, "I'm surprised I actually took that." And to be honest, I've heard enough from him now to I've just given up caring, to be honest. So we'll deal with it. Keelan's just opening a beer. It's going to be one of those, I think.
Just trying to hide the sound of it opening because it would just be so loud.
We have just revolutionised the podcast. I don't know if anyone's ever thought about doing this in podcasts.
Oh, actually, I think I was the first one because I re-listened to the one we did last week, and I said that we should get a circle table so we can all look at each other.
And I'm sure there's no one on earth, not even Joe Rogan, thinks about sitting opposite his hosts and guests.
Yeah.
What we've done is we've pulled my desk slightly away from the wall, and Keelan is now squeezed in between the gap.
Yeah.
Because George is here again.
Wee, wagwan, baby.
Wagwan, baby.
It's funny how whenever we have a guest on and say they're staying for like a few days, they come on and then for the rest of the time they're here, they just like sit downstairs and us two continue the podcast. But because George is George,
we need him on.
He always like. I couldn't imagine him being downstairs and not being involved.
It would be rude for me not to be involved.
Yeah, it's so good.
Adding feet George Ryan to the title of a what?
What?
Sorry,
Mind boggle.
George McGowan to the title of a podcast instantly adds about 400 extra listeners.
Thank you, everyone.
And you need diversity in the accents, otherwise it would just be two people who sound exactly the same.
Very true.
Now you almost need subtitles on the podcast.
No, it's not. It's not Robbie. It's not Robbie.
How do you have subtitles on a podcast?
That's the joke.
Oh.
You have a follow-up. So George goes, "That's the joke," and then I go, "That's the joke."
Yeah.
That's the joke.
And then we have, "That's the joke" for the Americans.
Yeah.
The yoke. Daryl Stingley. Is it Stingley or Stringley?
Stingley.
It is Stingley, because I once got it wrong on a Giles.
Oh, I say Stringley. No, I say Stingley.
What's this video going to be called?
Well, I don't want to.
No, I'm going in on him.
No, you're not going in on him.
I'm going in on him.
I think it's going to be called Swing Theory.
Swing Theory. It won't be called Swing Theory. It'll be called.
Well, no,
like
that was an idea.
It'll be called like The Joker sequel 2.
No, and it is going to be an epic video.
I'm just turning you down.
I've seen the content, and
George
it is
a tiny bit.
Wait,
loud.
fill me in. I don't understand.
Okay, no, I'll fill you in, right? Because this is my beef. My beef with Daryl, and he's probably the worst person you want to have beef with because it's Daryl.
He's a lovely guy.
He is a lovely guy. I love him.
Mm.
He flew.
It's not beef.
It's beef.
It's
I'm
not
making
beef.
it beef.
You don't have beef.
He flew out George, Ed, Tim Champion, and Hendo to the Apex NorCal, now named Squadron, Gym, to film a series of videos, right? It was called...
So it wasn't just the video that's been released?
No, there's 3 videos.
There's more stuff that you got.
There's been 2
released.
Not me. Mine's been released. Me and Ed's has been released, and then Hendo, Daryl, and Garrett, their video has been released too.
Yeah. So
both banging videos, by the way.
With about 3k likes, views each one. So here's my beef. When did you go out?
This time last year.
A year ago.
So it was November last year.
One whole turn of the whatever the world does.
Turn of the page.
We go around the sun, don't we? No, the sun circles us because we're the centre of the universe.
Why did I didn't answer that? I looked
You
up.
weren't sure. George is staying silent. We go around the sun. Daryl flew them out to film these videos, which I assume is for promotional content for the gym. George's video took what? Your video came out first. It was you and George is sitting in silence.
Ed, because...
You and Ed.
Was it just you? I thought it was him, Ed, and I saw bits of... Was it just you and Ed?
It was me, Ed, and Daryl.
And Daryl.
So Daryl is featuring in each video. That was the idea. So he threw them out for a month. They trained in this gym to make 3 absolute bangers. It was called The Crucible, then it was called something else, then it was called
a legendary month.
A legendary month.
Yep.
And so the first video took about 6 months to come out. Insane amount of time, given that it was a 3-minute video.
Yeah.
It was a banger. However, what started it? What was the start? Daryl talking to the camera for like a minute.
Yeah.
And the hype was kind of dead before the video came out. So I was upset because I wanted that type of video to do really well.
Yeah.
Once again, then the one with Hendo came out. Daryl once again talking to the video. It took a couple more months. Then the Daryl's talking to the camera at the start. And the kind of hype... I just feel like if you start a video with a minute of talking to the camera, it kills it.
Yeah, it almost should be straight into especially with a video like that, it
should be
deserves to be straight
there.
into the action for sure.
But that's personal preference aside. We'll put that aside. My main beef is that Tim Champion is also in one of these videos. Is a year later, there's still no video. Where is it, Daryl? It's not real beef, although we might get really upset now and try and
Come
kill
on,
me.
Daryl, where is Soul Destroyer?
Oh shit. Keelan, where's the America edit from
Oh.
Woodward?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I just want to see it.
No, I want to see it.
You can't bang on about how it was a legendary.
It was a legendary trip.
You get
It was a
you
legendary
get
month.
little voice messages from Ed, and you're like, oh, it's because we're such friends because we went to America for a month together. I'm like, where's the
fuck off.
footage? I don't know. I don't know if it
I
actually
don't
Have you
believe
seen
it.
the footage of me and Ed?
Yeah, I haven't seen Tim though. I haven't seen Tim doing reverse Big L.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I haven't seen Tim doing reverse Big L.
I don't know what Big L is.
Basically, Tim did a lache before Daryl, and the video now hasn't since come out. And I can only assume.
No, this is too savage.
I know
This is too
this is
savage.
it's an assumption, George. I can only assume
This is
that
too
the video
savage.
has not come out yet because Daryl has not also done the lache.
This is too savage.
Therefore, meaning that Tim Champion is the best at laches in the world.
Oh,
In maybe Jim and Joe. But
I don't know. Jim
Well,
and
we
Joe.
already
Do Jim and
knew
Joe
that.
even train anymore?
I think they're in retirement. So
Yeah,
current athlete.
but I never met them. Their laches did look fucking legendary.
They were long boys. So that was topic one to cover.
Yeah, nice.
It
Done.
was Daryl NorCal videos. George, now you can open your mouth, so you don't feel like you've just been involved in some
Crime scene.
yeah. We
Yeah.
just did a stunt job. Keelan spent the week working in Sainsbury's,
Yeah,
but we just bopped off to Belgium.
yeah, you boys did. It looked pretty fun.
It was interesting. There was a lot of waiting around.
Yeah, because you messaged me saying that you were doing night shoots,
Yeah.
and that was probably while I was
While
still
you
up.
were doing night shifts,
exactly.
yeah. While you
So-
sent me a
so
very
what-
depressing message.
Oh, basically just wanting to kill myself because it's Sainsbury's.
You were so miserable.
I was so I can't every night at gone 1 o'clock to 3 or 4. You go through the depression stage when you're working at Sainsbury's.
I
during
like how
nights.
the podcasters got to listen along to you applying for jobs, you then having the job story, the interview story, and now you've got the job.
got the
2 weeks later, you're like, fuck this.
But I'm not worrying about money now. That's
Very true.
it's so fine. Anyway, so yeah, what were you doing? What was this
so
shoot
we
for?
got an email from a guy I met in Belgium, basically being like, George and Mark's are buff boys, and we need some buff boys for a stunt job. And it came together, and yeah, George and Mark's were basically similar builds and sort of looks to these guys, so we went out there, got delayed by 5 hours on the ferry due to some incredibly high winds.
Nice.
And yeah, we did it. What did we do? A day of rehearsals. It's a TV show called Hoodie, which is 156 episodes they're filming in one go over the course of the next year. Like, they've been filming for a few months.
And have they done the pilot yet or anything?
It's a kids' TV show.
Yeah.
Each episode is 10 minutes long.
Okay.
That was 12 and a half.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're just banging them out, just non-stop.
That's pretty.
It looks like
pretty
it's
nuts.
going to be good.
Yeah, and it's about
the
like
footage we
this
saw-
vigilante
Yeah.
kind of crime-fighting guy who also does parkour. And it's kind of all of that. And the main guy, Hoodie, is a parkour athlete.
Yeah, George was
Yeah.
that we were talking a lot in the car actually.
Which
Yeah,
is
he
sick.
is really good.
Yeah.
And in technicality, did not need a stunt double.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
Because could have did all the stunts himself.
The only reason he had to have a stunt double is for insurance, because if he got injured, then he couldn't do his
Yeah.
acting bits.
Yeah, for sure. No, understandable. But yeah, you were sending pictures of George in full on different haircut
I had,
and beard.
Well, so what was the
spread
deal
of
with
pubes glued to my face?
what was the deal with Mark? You thought Mark was going to get the savage end of the stick, right?
Well, so when we heard about it, I heard that Mark's had to wear a hoodie that was kind of like a mask. So, like, imagine half balaclava, so it covers from the nose down, and then the hood is really wide,
It's like
so
a
it covers.
big Assassin's
so
Creed
looking side to side, you would just see the sides of the hood. It's like like a Grim Reaper hood, like.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, ha, Mark's has got the rough end of the stick here because he's obviously wearing that. Little do I know that I have to get my hair shaved, put on a fake beard, and wear handcuffs on one of my ankles, real metal handcuffs on my ankles while climbing scaffolding.
Yeah, that sucks.
George is someone who likes to get his hair cut once a week to have the sides
Yeah,
nicely
I
faded
didn't know
in.
that.
Yeah.
You get it once
You
a
and me
week.
are sitting
Yeah.
here with like 2-month growth, like fluffy headed. Once
Surely,
a week.
surely your hair does it thicken out every time you shave it? Or is that
Well,
is that?
I think
it's
that's a
supposed
myth.
to just
It's a
grow
myth.
faster.
Yeah.
Grow
They
faster.
say the more you get your hair cut,
So
the
this
faster it
this
grows.
guy gets out the trimmers and basically does literally a bowl cut line around George's fucking head, chops
Yeah.
off his fringe.
Yeah, because
Wait, why is that?
I needed to look like the guy.
And does he have
but
your hair?
but then after I get my hair cut, then we find out that actually I'm wearing a cap the whole time.
Which George has not taken off since. He's
So
worn a
I
cap all
actually
day.
didn't need to get my hair cut, but I don't really care that
Yeah.
much.
Well,
He doesn't
it
care
doesn't-
that much, but he's worn a hat all day.
It doesn't look that bad though, to be honest.
Well, only because there's no fade. If
yeah.
there, if
Go
it
on,
was,
let's have a look. Let's
if
have
it
a
was
look.
this short at the front and there was a fade, if there was a clean fade, I'd be sporting it.
Could
but-
you please get it faded all the way round, even at the front?
Yeah,
No.
faded up
Has
over
anyone
the
ever had
forehead.
that?
Over the five head.
Yeah.
But yeah, so George got a pretty raw deal. Fake beard George, which I think you probably would have seen on Instagram
But-
now, is
The job was loads of fun.
I really got used to you with a beard.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'd look
thought
across
I should have it.
from a distance where it didn't look fake. I was like, "There's beardy George."
Yeah.
Like, just mature George.
It looked good.
So-
Yeah.
But yeah, we had loads of fun. It was awesome. Worked
Yeah,
with
it was.
everyone.
Rehearsals was cool because it was just.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold up. Rehearsals wasn't cool for you.
Yeah.
It was Mark's and George's first try on wires.
Stump wire.
Not just like, oh, you're on the ground pretending to be a monkey and we're gonna like pull you and do like a exaggerated jump. It was you're gonna jump a almost 6 meter gap across a height drop that you would never want to take.
Yeah.
You've got to clear two railing. Well, Mark's has got to clear two railings.
I had to clear one and land on another.
They basically wanted George to like fail.
It
Well,
looked
they
like
wanted
a
me to
big
bounce. They
running
basically
pre.
wanted me to bounce.
What
The
was it
initial
saying?
idea was to bounce the top of it and like fall into a cat leap.
Yeah, and then be like, no, I'm falling.
Yeah.
Because it was a chase. It was a parkour chase.
Yeah.
And first rehearsal, they basically did the softest, like, oh, just step off and we'll see how the ropes the wires carry you.
Yeah.
Second rehearsal, they were like, okay, we'll do you a little bit of forward momentum. And none of us expected it. And then suddenly George was whizzing across the fucking gap.
Yeah.
Slamming.
Way too fast.
Fucking slammed into the railing.
Yeah, I saw that
My
video.
first reaction, unfortunately, was to laugh because I kind of just thought it was not as bad as it was.
I mean, in the video, it does look pretty funny. You're jumping
Yeah,
and
it
you look
was
like
very,
you look
very
like a
big.
pouncing cat.
yeah,
It pulled the
Straight-
wire, pulls you forward so quick, so it's hard to get any actual jumping position because obviously when you do running pre, your legs are piked in front of you, whereas the wire is attached near the top of your back, so it just pulls you straight forward.
yeah. In the
your
air,
body
they're
straight
like
forward.
they need
So
like
you go
Mark's
like that, and you do a bit.
It
of
just
an
goes
arch.
like Mark's goes over the rail like this.
on the shoot night. They wanted they did so many takes of Mark's because he had to look like he was clearing the railing and landing in a roll. But because of the wire setup, he was basically like going at that angle, and he's trying his hardest to bring his legs forward. But then because it was such a big gap, there was like if it was flat roof to flat roof was
Yeah.
maybe a step up.
You would
Some
you don't need to step up. You could
But
jump
people
it.
would do
jump
it, but it's
yeah.
fat as fuck.
Yeah.
But because it was wires, you're not. It just
Not
always looked
natural.
too fake.
Yeah.
Like there was too much airtime of like that weird float.
Also, the takeoff was off a rail,
Yeah.
and it's a 6 meter gap, so it makes it
Yeah.
unrealistic anyway.
So yeah, George basically got bodied, and then for the next 2 days had a hand that was twice the size. Like he looked like he was wearing a fucking small boxing glove.
Yeah, it's still swollen.
Still
now.
pretty puffy.
Yeah,
It does look pretty swollen.
Hopefully not broken.
yeah. So I can't Kong at the minute, which is very sad.
Yeah, and then one of the other stunts was him to do a castaway, and he was like, I can't fucking castaway.
So
So,
But it was what specifically a castaway?
well, he had to turn
Well-
vault.
I had to turn vault and then do a layout castaway off a big ledge. Well, I was doing it in the practice, obviously, and then I hurt my hand, so I just changed it to an inward side.
An inward
works.
side.
Because
Which
I can
actually-
pull with this hand. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
And it
yeah.
made
I
so
couldn't
much more
use this,
sense.
It just pulled with one hand and
That's
did not,
pretty cool.
did
With
an
an-
opposite inward side.
And then he just turned 180.
Opposite inward side.
Yeah, because I had to use this hand.
As in, like, you didn't side flip the way you usually
No,
do.
I did it the other way.
Just oppoed, and it looked fine. But so he lands facing like essentially the way he
Yeah,
would then
backwards.
run off, rather than landing backwards on a castaway. So it made
Mm.
sense. And then the other one was a fucking like 5 meter high front flip,
Which
to-
was really fun.
initially both of them got up there and stood on this beam and were like, nah.
No,
Really?
I didn't. I didn't say that.
You
I
were
never.
both-
Nope. I never said once. It was actually the opposite. It was actually the opposite. Mark's got on it and said, "No, I'm not doing that."
And you
I
went-
was like,
and you went,
I was
"Yeah."
like, "I'll do it."
At least one of
It's
you
not that
did.
bad. It's onto 4 fat crash mats.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to jump it, but I was scared for my weak, frail back.
Yeah.
But no, it was good fun. It was just like it was a lot of waiting around, and
It
I
was
was there
really
to film
fun.
BTS,
Mm.
and really you can only film so much. And it was just. I think you get this on every stunt job from what I've heard.
Were you just waiting around a lot?
Hours.
That's what every stunt job
the
is.
second night we got there, we got on set at 4 p.m. We didn't start filming any stunts until 11 p.m. And George had to get his beard on by like 5-6 p.m. So
They didn't put it
it's
on
not that
until they didn't put it
It was
on
a bit later.
The
but-
first day I had it on from 4 till like 2.
Did you said that you had it on for a long period of time though?
Yeah, it was like the first night. Yeah, I had it on from 4, about 5 till like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
horrible.
Very irritating.
Itchy.
Yeah, very itchy.
Fuck that. Not fun.
But no, it should be cool. It's not going to come out for like well over a year though. So
Yeah,
actually, no.
No, they still got.
I think next May.
I think they said they have. Well, they're gonna film another season, or they're not.
They're filming
Before it
2 more
comes-
seasons.
Yeah, two
for
more
another,
two
for
more
a
seasons.
year. They're still filming.
Yeah,
So
but it's gonna be cool for sure. When we saw some of the other shots, and they looked epic.
it's gonna be. I reckon it will be one of those things that, like, for Belgium, it's not gonna be some groundbreaking TV show.
Yeah.
But for Belgium kids, it will probably be like, oh yeah, do you remember Hoodie? Like,
Yeah.
be one of those childhood shows that was
That's
on
nice.
for a long period of time.
Maybe
Yeah.
get some people into parkour.
Yeah, for sure.
maybe. Be cool.
Definitely will.
They'll think unbelievable. No, not unbelievable. Unrealistic jumps are possible.
Oh, the funniest was the second day the fucking press came.
Oh yeah, George, you were saying
Because they were filming
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
They were filming in this big citron factory, like this abandoned citron factory, and that's being made into a museum. And also because it's like this big show that's got all this funding or whatever, they obviously wanted to like get the press involved. So like 20 press camera people turn up, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, guys, can you do some flips?" And they're just drilling basically inward sides and castaways and shit onto crash mats. And then at one stage, the cameraman who was taking photos, like there was one of the cameramen taking photos, he just turned and started taking photos of me, and I was just literally standing there with my camera, just like this. I turned around, he was just fucking taking photos of me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, very strange, but
Nice.
you know, just one of those awkward scenarios.
It's just because they're not English. They don't understand.
They're Belgiumish.
Belgianish.
It's Belgiumish. That's the weirdest thing.
Really? It actually is
We
Belgianish.
had to ask Nico last time we were there. We were like, is it Belgiumish? He was
And
like,
you,
yeah.
you got to go to Hull 5 again.
Went to Hull 5.
Yeah, very
really
good
cool.
gym.
Saw a few people.
Amazing gym.
Still
Yeah.
haven't been there.
I trained and now I'm suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long's it been since that session?
3 days and I'm
3 days,
still
still
fucking
fucking-
so achy. Like so achy.
But I understand that because that can happen to me.
Yeah.
Can sometimes.
Anything else you want to say about stunts?
No, I had a really good time doing it.
Good. George summed up. You should write Yelp reviews. Was good. Full stop.
Was good.
Yeah.
Food was really nice.
You header.
Not enough sauce.
Not enough sauce, but food was good.
Cavemen.
Unbelievable.
I
Okay.
watched it on set because I
on-
was excited.
On set. Oh, sorry.
Well, these
yeah,
guys
yeah.
were doing jumps and I was like, fuck this, I'm
I
watching
have,
Cavemen.
I have a few things to say about that
Oh.
because I did really, really enjoy it. There was some stupidly
But
I feel like maybe I need to watch it again, but this time I don't think like the production was as good. Production sounds really like fancy. I feel like the editing was a bit weird.
I mean, it was a
Do you
video filmed on iPhones.
iPhone, but if you look at all the other ones, they feel very kind of like clean
I
cut and everything.
think the other ones were probably maybe more GoPro.
I don't know. Maybe the black and white auto corrects some of the things because instantly when it went
Maybe
back
the
to black
quality
and
was
white,
too good because it was filmed on like an iPhone X or something, and you're like, oh, I don't
Maybe.
like 4K. I want the old school VHS file.
But they did do some like really, really cool things, especially that some of it was in Bromley. So I've been training there for a while, and I didn't know there were spots, but they were just
they became spots. Yeah.
when they made them. But that running pre at the start that Ben
Yeah,
did,
it's
Yeah,
massive.
yeah.
I've never been there, and I put on my story like, oh, this looks big, but I've never been there, and I had so many story replies. Everyone was just like, it's stupid.
Really?
It's fucked.
It's the fact that he has to have a
Everyone.
curbed run up. But I was thinking about this earlier actually. It looks to me, because it looks fucked, like unbelievably big, but it also looks like the type of thing that now, because Benj does not have the biggest running pre in the world.
Well, he doesn't even look like he sprints into it
Yeah.
as fast as he can.
I think it's the unlock.
We're in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people underdo. They don't go to their full potential with running pre's because there's something you can't really gauge that well
For sure.
unless you do
yeah.
so many. And I do think Max and Bench do a lot of running pre's, so they know where their gauge is.
I wouldn't be surprised now if
someone else does it.
Well, yeah, if somebody goes to Horsham and they're like, because now
Yeah, now it's possible.
Now it's possible they're like, oh, it's been done, and
No, someone will. For
mentally
sure.
that changes
Someone for sure will.
Still though,
it's fucked.
you've got to rate their angles of things.
I was
are
most
really good.
impressed with some of the Tic Tac stuff in there, because when it like the Tic
Grim,
Tac,
right?
Yeah.
It's
There's
the
Tic
Tic
Tac
Tac
Max
bench
does over, or Max or Benz. I can't remember. Does over the railing. There's one over a
Yeah,
railing
Max,
across
yeah,
a roof,
Max,
across a roof
yeah.
gap, which is insane.
Max
But that
also
one I
does
like-
Yeah, Max.
He does two in there. He does that one and the one where there's two roofs and
Yeah.
a windowsill.
but so both of those, the railing one is like across the roof. I'm sure
It's crazy.
it's bigger than it looks, and it's sketched because obviously
It's
you've
just
got to
over a rail. Ooh.
However, it kind of made sense to me because I'm like, I don't know, you can.
I know what you mean. If you run it at an angle, because with Tic Tacs, if you run it, it's nearly like a wall pop. Like instead of side on,
Yeah.
you're more likely to have like a really nice sticky foot, so you can just pop straight over.
And
And once you're over, you're over,
the gap
right?
didn't look huge. And
Yeah.
then the one with the roof, the two roofs, I was like, well, that's a nice solid window ledge. The one that fucked me up was Benj doing it over the peaked tile roof off the side of the chimney.
Yeah.
And by the
Big
looks,
drop, right?
big drop, because he's got fucking airtime.
Airtime.
Like he kicks, because he jumps out. And I was
Yeah.
like, my first thought was, you can't prep that. You can't climb. Well, maybe you can, but
No,
it doesn't.
I don't think you could. There's no prep that comes close to the actual.
You can't.
movement,
You
is
can't
there?
jump to it just to see if your foot fits nicely.
No. There's
Maybe
probably,
you could climb up and be like, it feels like a good ledge.
and maybe you can just standing pre/jump from the Tic Tac area. You know when you come round the chimney or whatever he's doing off, just to the.
Oh, I don't even
gap.
know. I think it's too. The ledge looked tiny.
Yeah.
And then so he does that, and then there's a drastic amount of airtime, and I was like, if he'd slipped on that
But there's things like that I'm dying to see
in person. So in one of the early Cavemen, there's a thing Max does. I can't remember what he does into it, but he basically does a dive Kong pre, like off the edge. It's in Horsham.
Yeah. Iconic clip.
If you go there and you stand from where he dives, it's so fucking blind, and you've got a Kong pre to a wall that it's just I stood there and I was like, nah, how the fuck? Like how?
Yeah.
And the video will never do it justice.
No, but it always
I
looks like a
understood
banger
when I
clip.
watched it. I was like,
Yeah.
I also, it's weird how Parker. It wasn't that young, but it felt like Parker was that young that I hadn't seen many dive Kong pre's. I know it seems really like standard.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
for me, I'd never seen a dive Kong at an actual
well,
proper
not
dive
one
Kong
to that
length.
level.
No,
Not one
you'd
to
see
that
it
level.
maybe a dive Kong pre that doesn't. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
dive.
Or like a curb jump.
Yeah,
dive
but
Kong pre.
Seeing that, I was like, holy shit,
Yeah,
that was a weird.
Because it's when you commit, there's no coming back.
No,
Like,
yeah.
your fucking chest is
straight
forward.
into plyo arm jump, which was
Do-
very nice.
Was it your favourite Caveman? That's my question.
For me, yes.
I don't know whether it like fucking blew me away, but I don't think I had as crazy a reaction as all the other ones.
Yeah, so I think I need to watch them all again in like succession.
No, I've already watched the new one about 5 or 6 times.
I
really.
feel like 3 left more of an impact on me in terms of like, whoa, big cultural moment.
Yeah.
However, this one is obviously gonna. I mean, it looks like it could be the first Caveman to fucking smash 1 million because it's already at like 400.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, 400's already.
It's really
massive.
hard to judge it as well. Just I don't know
It's so sick that that's like it's a little series.
that they've
It's like
got,
a Yannick Shower video. Once a year,
yeah.
you know it's coming.
and
like,
I knew that they were saving up for clips. It was
Yeah.
that moment they posted to. I think it was that YouTube thing where you can actually post a like. Do you know what I mean?
on the community bit where you can
That's
post
the one.
Yeah.
And I was on YouTube and I saw it on Sunday and they were like Monday Caveman 4. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was coming anytime soon. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
I think
Yeah.
what I'm almost more excited for is I'm assuming there'll be a behind the scenes next week.
oh shit.
Of
Yeah,
like,
I
true.
forgot
I
about that.
forgot
because
about
hopefully
that.
then we'll see the breakdown.
Oh, okay. I'm more excited for that.
Because that's the
now.
thing is I like the breakdown of like how did that shit. Cause
Yeah,
the
they're
thi-
good at breaking stuff down.
Well, and that's the coolest thing is it's not just average run of the mill shit. It's like lines that take a lot of work, and therefore in a 5-second clip of a line you just don't get it.
It's funny how the evolution of their rooftop training has. It's funny how it has evolved from roof culture where it was mainly a roof gap and then a roof gap and then a weird descent down.
Yeah,
some
now
roofs.
it's like such complex, hard runs.
They've mastered sort of finding basically just turning rooftops into normal spots.
And
like that's a spot now.
What I liked is that there weren't too many runs that were like do something here, then sprint for 30.
Yeah, and then run. Yeah,
like
it's all
sprint for
movement.
30 seconds
Yeah, it's
to the
movement.
next jump or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was movement.
Yeah. No, it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Big respect to Max and Benj.
It's just that it's the scavenge, isn't it? It's like marks with ground spots is then with roof spots, and then it's the complexity of the lines. It's fucking sick.
I think we should rewatch Cavemen 1 because that's something I haven't watched in a while, and I think there's still quite a lot of.
Honestly, I watch them all the time.
Really?
All of them.
Yeah.
It's good hype. Good
Well, when
training
you make
hype.
the
training hype,
Really good training hype.
When you make the first of something, you don't necessarily think it's going to be like a series.
No.
So you're just like, oh, this is a video, and then it was like, oh, we'll
Why
do
was
two.
there Cavemen 1? Was it just leftovers from Roof Culture?
No.
No.
It was way before. It was
just Max and Benj
Culture.
making a roof video, I imagine.
Yeah.
I feel like it was
a
after Roof
banger.
Culture.
Yeah, this is such a good video.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of brings us on to our next topic, which we suggested earlier, which is the importance of saving footage.
Yeah.
Something which I'm incredibly passionate about, and I think there's different veins of what we mean by saving footage.
Yeah.
I basically have tried my hardest since I ever started properly filming, which was 2009. And even actually thinking about the stuff that I have on old like mini DV shit, and I know my sister has like a backed up hard drive of my old original parkour videos. I've never deleted anything.
Yeah, you're good at that. I wish I never deleted anything.
Well, that's the thing. You'll only ever regret it. Like you just. From my perspective, because you brought up a good point, which is about staying relevant, which I think you should talk about in a second. But my perspective on it is just like, whatever you film has the potential to go on to be historical. Like you are capturing something, whether or not you are, because let's say you're shit at parkour, but your aspirations are going to be to be the best. Then you are starting to capture your journey, and if you become the best, you have that whole thing on tape. You have value there, not just financially, but like to yourself, but also to like the history of the sport. So for me, in my position where I've been kind of grateful to film all the big players, I'm like, everything I fucking shoot is important.
Definitely.
Because, like, I mean, let's say Kai Willis gets hit by a bus tomorrow and dies.
Yeah.
There's like,
fuck.
But then like
all of his footage. Yeah, you've got
what he has done
footage
for this sport in his life is kind of is still preserved. There's still kind of
that's a good point. I never really thought of it in that way.
But that's always my thing. And also, like, I wanna, when I'm 50, make a documentary about parkour. The kind of in the same way you see the skate ones, like a showing the decades of change and things. And I've
like Valley Uprising, but
yeah, exactly. You think of documentaries like Valley Uprising that a muggle can watch and be like, oh my god, climbing's incredible. Like, we can do that same stuff. And you get people who are like, I filmed this, deleted that, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, they're like, I've used it. It's in a video now. So there's loads of different veins of saving footage that I didn't even think of. But yeah, so there's saving footage like you're saying, where you'd use it, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, doesn't matter where you put it. You've used it,
but you never delete it.
You don't delete it. You keep it on saved on a hard drive. I've started doing that now, and I think that's inspired probably by you doing it.
Actually, can I just jump in?
Yeah.
The cost of hard drives nowadays is so cheap in comparison to so many other things in life that it is worth doing.
Definitely.
Like, realistically buying, especially if you're not shooting professionally and you're just shooting occasionally on a GoPro, having a couple of terabytes is not expensive and is worthwhile.
No. I get 2 terabyte hard drive, the same one, the Lacey one, every year. That's the thing. Soon as the next year's up, I need to have a fresh hard drive.
Yeah.
I label them in years,
and then you put them away
because I don't shoot professionally.
And the advice I would give to you is to double up on those, i.e., back
as
to
in,
you,
so they're
because one of them might fail because hard drives can fail. My advice to anyone who tries to shoot professionally or wants to shoot professionally: anytime you get a job from a client, and I don't do this every time, but if the client is right, budget in a hard drive or two. If they're like, oh, we need you to come and film for 5 days, and you, in your head you're like, well, I'm going to film like probably a good terabyte or so. Get them to pay for a couple of hard drives.
Yeah,
like a terabyte.
can, right?
A terabyte's like 80 quid nowadays, maybe even less.
Yeah.
So for the sake of an extra couple £100, you can basically secure and save your footage. So that's
true.
But anyway, back to your.
Yeah. No. What was I saying about different veins of saving footage? Because when I was discussing this in the kitchen earlier, when I was saying about saving footage, I actually meant obviously saving footage for videos like
Cavemen,
so there's different types of saving footage, but I mean, for me, I enjoy saving footage for a bigger video so that you're not sort of splurging out all your best things as you do them.
Yeah.
But the problem with that I've realised is you don't stay relevant, which is the hard thing. And I don't know, I haven't figured out yet how to kind of...
I mean, Yanis Shao is the prime example, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
but the thing is, he does stay relevant, but not...
I think realistically, he only stays relevant with people like us, who we're aware of him.
He won't be with new people who join. Yeah. They won't know who he is yet, unless someone shows him.
The thing is you're... It's so weird because it's like you're saying to people like, you have to film. It's like, you don't have to film, but
no.
He's putting out a yearly video that's 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long, which means he's only filming 5-6 minutes worth of content a year. I mean, maybe he's filming more, but that doesn't sound like that much.
It doesn't sound like that much, but I think he only films his
best bits,
and if he enjoys doing that, then like he's probably not trying to be consistent with certain elements. He just likes doing that.
Like, ideal situation to me is you save, but you stay relevant, which basically requires more work ethic.
So it requires posting your B footage and
saving your A
footage, which this is the hard thing recently with me is I planned this all out. I wrote it all down, but like I wanted to post B footage while saving A footage that I think's A footage.
Yeah.
And just posting B footage felt so just meh. Like I didn't feel that good about it at all.
But so I
know it works, but it's like, personally, I don't enjoy going on Instagram, but mostly because I just get stuck watching things.
Yeah.
That's not to do with posting. So I think I try and stay off of it, and then that happens.
What's a prime example? The clip I posted on Instagram today, was that A or B?
I wasn't happy with it. I wanted to do it somewhere else.
This is.
But I would have saved it for. I've got loads of clips saved for another kind of restored joy-ish video.
Yeah.
But most of that is, I consider it A footage for me.
Nah, I would say it's B just because the simple fact that you did it easily.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
It is
and
A
also the
in
angle is like you don't see the landing.
It's A in difficulty, but it's B really because it didn't. Well, for you it was not that hard.
Yeah, I think now it's hard for me to distinguish what's A and B because I'm not training as much. So
anything you do,
anything I do
worthy.
Right now, anything I do, I'm like, I might as well just save it because I'm not going to be able to post regularly to Instagram. Yeah. So like, I could just make the decision to be like, fuck it, I'm going to post all the footage I've saved and post it daily, which is what I did when I.
And I think that's probably the Dom mentality, and then he compiles that into a YouTube video and goes, "This is my monthly."
But
upload.
I don't usually watch Dom's compilation videos.
I never watch one of his compilation videos because I just watch them on Instagram.
Yeah, which is fine.
I do watch them. Good training hype again.
Yeah, exactly.
The tricky thing is like, I mean, you were like, I was like, Keelan, are you gonna share that video that you showed me earlier? This is to anyone listening.
Or if someone wants to post it, then I would just give it to them.
360 running pre up to back 7.
It's not. It's definitely not.
It's not. I wouldn't call it.
It's not A footage, but
it's not a banger.
No, but it's
a sick line.
More that when I was saving footage for my other video, they weren't all bangers, but the fact that I saved them was quite fun.
Yeah.
Because then as a whole together,
it becomes something much more special.
And because I'm saving footage, I don't want to just release that clip on Instagram and then nothing.
I mean, that's the thing about, I mean, maybe not necessarily Cavemen, because I think that's probably so refined that everything in Cavemen is going to be considered a banger.
Yeah. But
let's say Restored Joy, there might be a couple of clips in there that are sort of much more a B, but as a package, they become an A star.
Yeah.
But the thing about that post is like you were kind of you were like, nah, just I might share it, I might not.
Yeah,
but then Motus,
after the comments come rolling in, it makes me feel good, and then it makes me go, oh, I could actually
post
all this stuff.
Like it's suddenly blowing up.
But I don't want that, because then when that happens, I get to, I can really easily just post because I want to see people comment on my stuff.
You want that self gratification,
and I hate that. It makes me poo myself. But what I was going to say was there's a different feeling between A and B footage, saving clips for yourself, and when we're filming Soul Destroyer, I'm automatically only hunting for A footage, so everything changes.
Yeah.
And it just turns into something that's stupidly hard.
I feel like we need to put a blank, like, we can't talk about Soul Destroyer until it's out, because I'm getting so scared that every time we mention it, it increases the hype factor a little bit more.
Okay, pretend you didn't hear that. George, do you have anything to say on the topic? Because you right now
I'm going for a wee
fucking killing.
again.
You are killing the Instagram game,
Not really.
No. I actually think you
Only
are.
if-
You know a lot about how Instagram works, and
Well,
I fucking love it.
I have a hypothesis about how it works.
Yeah,
I don't
I
actually
think it
know,
does work,
I don't know about how it works, but I think I do.
explain what you were kind of telling me, if you remember, like with the stories thing and like.
Well, I just think that, like, I don't know, a lot of people recently have been saying about whether it matters about posting on Instagram or not, but well, I don't know. I just try and stay active on it because I want people to keep seeing my content.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to explain it.
No, but the thing is, which gets lost a lot in translation.
I love going for a wee.
I do think it is important. Instagram is important because if you want to be a parkour athlete and you want to kind of work off
That's
that,
what I mean. Like, depending
Instagram
on what
is
you
the
want.
fastest growing thing.
Yeah, depending on what you want. Like, for me, I want to grow as an athlete.
Yeah.
And I want to be offered jobs, and I want to be, I want to be out there. So that's it. That's why Instagram
exactly.
is such a good platform.
It is really hard nowadays because honestly, like, if you're not using Instagram, you pretty much... It's so weird, isn't
You
it?
pretty much aren't relevant,
I saw this thing that was like...
unfortunately.
I can't remember what it was. It was like, if you don't know what capitalism is, you use 3 websites and you hate every single one of them. Or something like this. I think I probably just butchered whatever that sort of statement was.
Yeah.
But it's like, really, how many websites do you actually use apart from... Like, how often do you go on a website that is not Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram?
Yeah. No, none.
Like,
Not-
I Google stuff.
Yeah, no, but you'd go on another website, but that, as in a website you return to.
Yeah.
Only those
Like,
3.
one that is, like, in your brain, and you're like, oh, what's this? Like, no,
Yeah.
not even what's this. It's like, just... You don't even realise you've gone on it. You sit on your phone and you cycle through them in the morning.
What is the way you can look up on your phone the most viewed website you've been to?
I don't know if you can, actually.
I just find it
Like,
quite funny if we all
I
did
read-
that right now.
I read-
see what
yeah.
website would pop up.
I read a bit of Reddit, and I go on Facebook, and I go on Instagram, and I go on YouTube, and Twitter as well. I read
Yeah.
Twitter, and then there's stuff I Google, and and then there's apps I use and things like that. But it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So it is. It's like if you want to get noticed, you kind of have to be somewhere in that spectrum.
But it's almost just such a big calculation. Like I feel like I'm always making a calculation towards what I need to be doing with my social media presence. Like I'm confused all the time with like, what should I be doing? And I'd rather just be like, whoosh, throw it away and just do what I'm doing
this
right
is
now.
why there's
but
so
you can't do that because
Well, I mean, you can.
No, you can, but once I
always that
throw that
but, yeah.
away, it's like, but I can admit social media is the best thing that's happened so far. With like, if you want to do something for a job,
Yeah.
or something you love, the social media is the way to go.
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier because I was thinking about Cavemen, that this one might hit 1 million. Because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain the others are only sitting on a few 100K each.
Yeah.
Because obviously that was kind of
Their YouTube style is changing slightly,
Well,
isn't it? Because they're not making...
The first 2 came out
monetized.
pre-blow up.
Oh,
So
okay,
the
yeah.
third one came out when they were big, but now they're so much bigger. So it's like, it's obvious that it's going to get more
Yeah.
views. But I was thinking, I was like, it's crazy because we're like, oh, it might hit 1 million, as if that's some impressive thing. But it's like, it's sitting on something like 400K right now. That's fucking huge. Like,
Yeah,
for a
parkour
video that
video,
is just
that's mad.
parkour, like
If-
just purely parkour.
100
amazing.
years ago, if you were the best baker in the world and you lived in your, like, this town, unless you somehow get paraded around the streets but like by the king, no
Yeah.
one cares. Like, no one knows.
No.
But social media has meant that, like, you can rise if you do the best shit.
Yeah,
And
I
if you
agree.
market yourself right. So it is this thing of, like, because you kind of said social media is the best and then pause for a second. And it's like, it's not the best in that sense. It's not like, it's the best.
Yeah, it's just, it's really hard because...
It can get you in front of so much potential.
Yeah, and the thing that I've been thinking... If I can just tap
Punch
the mic,
the
sorry.
microphone.
The thing that I've been thinking about recently as well is that I enjoy creating content.
Yeah.
Just creating things is actually just really fun. But then I don't really enjoy so much at the moment, like sort of fast-paced sort of things.
Churning,
like in
yeah.
Instagram. Yeah. But then I don't like the act of watching loads of things online because I do it a lot and I'm like, fuck, this is bad for me. I don't want to be doing it. But in a sense, we're all creating that for someone to watch.
I honestly
So
think...
it's almost like this guilty thing where you're churning out all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, watch this, watch that. And most of the time, all of our kind of images of what that...
And you only put... Yeah, and also it's like...
What we believe in isn't so...
Everyone's like, social media is bad for your mental health, like, we should do less of it, but then everyone still does the same amount.
Yeah.
And also, you only put out the best version of yourself.
Yeah. So that's like saving footage. You're saving footage for the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And then, therefore, everyone thinks that, like, you're successful or whatever when...
Yeah.
And it's so
Whereas
fucked.
then you can see... Yeah, so someone might only see a video of me or Yanis if we've saved footage and go, oh, that's really cool, but then see a video of us training every day and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whereas they see George and he posts nearly every day.
No,
and you're
I
like,
don't.
yeah,
Not even close.
Yeah, but you've been posting quite a lot.
Every day.
To your story, you post a
I
lot.
post to my story every day.
Yeah,
But you train...
you post
I
some
train.
stuff.
No, I train most days, and I post to my story.
And therefore, I
training
think-
most days, but I don't have an Instagram
But
post most
you
days.
are one of the most competent athletes that I know, in terms that you can do so many different flips and you've got like a ridiculous parkour capability, which is shown through your stories, so you can see all the time that you
Yeah,
can
well,
do
it's good
stuff,
to show you doing different things and be diverse.
Yeah.
And not just the same thing. Like,
which is really good.
I feel like most of my stuff is just plyos and
Doesn't matter.
dive
It's just what you
cogs,
enjoy.
but
isn't
that's
it?
what I enjoy. So
And
it's
also,
like,
I think
why would
people-
I try and change? I'm not gonna try and change my style to impress other people.
No.
I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why people follow you, because they like to see your style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you post some things to your story that I would never want to do ever. But I understand, because you did that side pre off the roof near Giles's house.
Yeah.
You know, the side pre I'm on
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
That's
But
really
I
not
guess
bad.
you have uploaded it before.
Yeah, I did that a long time
Yeah,
ago.
but still, doing that side pre is nasty. He's like, I'll just upload it to my story.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like-
that's going to disappear.
It's
after
not
24 hours.
It's not a C, it's not a B, it's not an A clip, it's just a story clip. It's an S clip.
It's mad. And the plyo he did today, but you regretted that, didn't you?
Yeah,
As in,
I
you-
regretted putting
you
that
put
on my
that
story.
plyo
To
in
be
the
fair, 'cause
story,
a lot
but
of
it was
people
a
replied to it. I was
difficult
like,
plyo. Oh, really?
I shouldn't have put it to my
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Mm.
Where did we go? That was a.
I don't know where we
we
were
were
going
talking about
with-
saving footage, and then we got onto Instagram.
We just got onto sort of social media in general, didn't we?
Yeah, but
How would you want? What do you want someone to take away from this?
I mean, straight up, don't delete your footage ever.
Yeah.
It's hard if you only film on a phone, then I understand, because you're like, oh, I've
Yeah,
got...
I literally have never saved any footage from years
Yeah.
ago. I don't have a backlog of any footage. I have what's on my phone.
But that's
And
why.
what's on my
And
old
what's on YouTube?
and what's on my old phone, yeah, and what's on YouTube.
But that's
So
why
I've
I
made
have
that
to
mistake.
save. Yeah,
So I've made that mistake. Don't do it.
I have to save everything that George has ever said or
there's
done.
so much things that I wish I still had,
Yeah,
and I don't.
but I also think it's not even like you don't necessarily wish it on yourself, but it's like I think maybe because I've spent a lot of time around people that I want to save their footage.
Yeah.
I see the value in other people more than myself, and therefore, because obviously nobody seems to, unless you've got a fucking massive ego, you're not like, oh, I'm amazing, I gotta save my story. It's like,
Yeah.
but I look at like you.
We
from
have the
knowing-
archive now on Instagram, which saves them all for you,
Very true, yeah.
which
but
is really useful.
it is very
Yeah.
useful, but it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's
But
all vertical videos. and,
yeah. And it's
like
never. It doesn't save in the best quality either.
Yeah.
So
But I look
Yeah,
at like
but
the
it's just
journey
something.
of
it's something.
the
yeah.
journey of Keelan or the journey of George, and I'm like, well,
Mhm.
this is just of value, just to people, like, and
Yeah.
it's worth saving. So straight up, save
Very
your
true.
footage, and then I reckon that's the way I've always thought about it for a while now. Is you have A footage, which you save for YouTube videos, and then B footage for Instagram, and then C footage is stories. I would imagine
Yeah.
that's kind of the way.
It's so hard to because why would you film? This is where it gets kind of difficult. Filming B footage and C footage.
Why would you film it?
Yeah, and especially if it's B and C, you're probably going to be getting your mates to film.
Because not everything you do in life is you at your top.
Yeah,
is it?
but then it's like you got to constantly be giving someone a camera to film, which
Well,
which I'm okay with, especially like when me and George go out training. That's
Yeah.
sick because both of us know what we want. Like
Yeah,
we're gonna go out, and I'm like, I want to get clips. He wants to get clips, so it's easy.
Yeah.
When you go out with different people, you kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had this, George. You give your phone to someone who doesn't upload frequently, and I know someone to film something.
Yeah.
You might give them your phone 5 times in that day to film training
Yeah.
clips. I feel a bit weird about it, and I'm like,
yeah. I
There
know
is
what
like
you
a
mean.
guilt in being.
Yeah,
like,
there's a guilt because
you
you're
stand
stopping
there.
someone's training.
yeah,
And I
So
get it
they
a
can
lot.
film you.
I'll
I
be-
get it. It makes me feel bad.
I'll be
Yeah.
warming up in a gym, being like, "I'm gonna train today," and people are like, "Oh, Giles, you film?
Yeah,
Here's
and
my
you're-
phone."
you
And I'm
feel-
like, "Fuck
Yeah,
you."
you
now
feel
you
bad.
cool down.
Yeah.
You feel bad.
I
but,
had this weird thing. Like, I noticed it the other day when I was training at Hal 5. Because I don't train that often, but I know that when I do train, it has a very positive response in comments and things, which undoubtedly, undeniably does give
will
me a
actually
little.
make you train more.
Well, yeah, it makes
Yeah.
me want to train more, and undeniably, it gives me the little like,
Yeah.
oh guys, kind of thing. Like, I love training for myself, but I'm like, well, George is just over there. I may as well get him to film it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And it's the may as well. And it's not like, I don't feel like I'm doing it 100% for Instagram, but I do know that there is a huge amount of value in me putting it on there.
It's also
That's what I mean. But like sometimes you record stuff and I have it on my phone for months before I do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like I'll just scroll past it on my phone and be like, I could post that.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
also why it's important. That's another reason why it's important.
Isn't it fun though to watch back a training clip of yourself though? 'Cause
I
you
like
can
it.
see it's
Apart from the fact that I run like a fat baby, but yeah.
Teletubby.
This is the thing, right? I'm allowed to say I'm fat. No one else. Like, when I was doing that line the other day, right before I did it for the first time, Marks went, "Go on, fat boy." And in my head, I was
that
like,
was just mean.
but I was like,
That's just mean.
literally, as I ran up, I was like, in my head, I was like, "Fuck you, Marks. I'm gonna prove that I can do this." And then I did it. But yeah,
oh, that's really horrible.
we did eat pizza 2 nights in
Yeah,
a
we did
row,
eat-
and then McDonald's.
Yeah,
and,
we did eat fast food for every meal.
Yeah.
Bloody
So-
hell. Yeah, no, but I need to stop hitting
What
that.
was that?
That was my elbow. As if you're looking at yourself in the mirror to check if you've got like a fucking bogey up your nose or something.
Yeah.
Looking at yourself on video while doing parkour is nice because you're like, oh, that's strange. I don't like how my arm does that.
Yeah.
And then you just go there. Or
Yeah.
you do something you really enjoy. You can now watch yourself doing it.
Yeah. I think it's really, I think there is going to be this thing in I don't know when, it won't be instantaneous, it won't be like overnight, but there'll be this thing where we look back, we might even be dead by the time it happens, but they're going to look back at this period where social media has come in, because I mean 20 years ago there was like, maybe there was internet, I can't remember when we first got internet, but like 20 years ago I was 9, we certainly didn't have Facebook, nothing.
Yeah.
Like if we had internet, it was the most basic thing. And within that time period, within like essentially a generation, is this not just like, oh, now you can email your granny in Australia. It's like, oh, you can do this, this, and this, this. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And it feels like we're going to hit at some stage, I don't know whether it could be soon or maybe it's going to get worse over the next 100 years, we're going to hit this peak where everything is shared and everything is like,
Yeah.
there's books about it and fiction, non-fiction, where like they describe scenarios where people are literally like, you're shamed if you don't stream yourself having sex with your girlfriend because like you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the world goes so far that way, and then eventually there'll be a pullback.
I actually think there'll be. I think at some point there'll be a kind of fall in. I am hoping where people start not kind of paying attention to social media.
Yeah.
And it goes the other way, because I do see a lot of people more and more, and mostly creators actually anyway, just saying that they've started to not going to go on social media, and they put stuff out there, but it's, you kind of stop
And I think
using it.
that it's tricky. So you see a lot of like, you're seeing now these articles about Silicon Valley billionaires who have started app companies and things, and then they send their kids to Steiner schools and forest schools because they don't want their kids to be around technology because they see the damage in it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like stuff around that.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
also you see a lot of these people who are like, oh, I'm doing a 1 month social media detox, but they post that shit everywhere, all over their social media, and then they
when
come back.
everyone watched it,
They
yeah.
come back from social media, like, and they're like, oh my god, it was amazing. I'm gonna vlog about it for the next month.
Yeah, and then it's, yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's become this like,
But
what's the real?
I know,
Yeah,
but at least they're kind of spreading the kind of the information about, because
for sure. Yeah,
more when I see that, it reminds me that I'm like, oh, I don't really enjoy. You know how you deleted Facebook George. How
Yeah.
you just don't enjoy swiping for so long.
Yeah, because I always end up going on it and watching so
ridiculous
many
amount of
videos
videos.
because I just keep scrolling down the video
Yeah.
and then there'll be a suggested video.
I miss
No,
being
Just keep
sent videos of like gypsies fighting that you
Yeah,
found.
I
on
did
Facebook
always
and-
find the best Facebook videos.
George would, and he'd remember them and he'd be like, "Have you seen that video of like two women fighting with shovels?" And you'd be like, "No," and he'd just find
That
the
was
right
an
keyword.
epic video.
I used to
though.
That
find
one. Yeah, I know that one.
some bangers, but yeah, wasted far too much time for me, so I just deleted my Facebook and kept the Messenger app.
Yeah, exactly. So that sort of thing, when I see some influencer post about them doing a detox, social media detox, it reminds me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not weird. It's weird. I'm not weird for not wanting to go on it.
Yeah, I also wonder how many people who've done social media detoxes and just not post, like they've gone, I'm doing a social media detox.
Yeah, and they're on social media, just not posted.
yeah. They're like, oh
Like,
fuck,
watching everyone else, but just not posting.
Yeah, I said I was gonna do that thing. I can't fucking talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
that shit.
There's probably people who have lied about.
Very true. Speaking of social media, I saw a Facebook post earlier that I'm almost asking for any info if anyone has it.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott Jackson shared a article by I'm gonna butcher his name. Where have we gone? Wait, where the fuck? It's gone. How? Oh, Simone or Simon, as in from the 3 Run Family. You know, the like kind of curly haired guy. He's a fucking sick photographer.
Family.
French guy.
Oh yeah, French video on family.
It's
guy-
either Simone or Simon Bicroni. Something like that. I'm so bad with
Let me
saying
see.
Is he
Bicaro.
really good at parkour?
Yeah, he's fucking sick.
Yeah.
He takes incredible photos. Big.
Big.
So he, from what I understand, I saw this maybe an hour before we started this podcast, so I haven't done a huge amount of research. He did, by the looks of it, an article for a website about Matera, the art of motion, and it was about the kind of negative effects, and there was some obvious stuff. Like, there's a quote in there from the president of the Sassy Foundation, because obviously it was like a historical site. Mm-hmm. Like, it was, ancient city. It is with bewilderment that today we witness the event organised in Matera by a well-known brand of energy drinks. For days, the roofs of Sassy districts have been taken by assault by more or less experienced freerunners. No one accompanied them on these patrols. No one told them that a wall does not have the same strength as cement, etc. So there was a lot of damage, obviously, that happened. Like storms, video,
as you would
imagine.
Yeah, same as Santorini.
There were police calls and things like this. There was one thing that really, really stuck out to me. As told on social media, the journalist was pulled by a freerunner who was participating in the Art of Motion competition. The man wanted to take away her cell phone, with which he had just documented a group of 4 people climbing on the roofs of the houses in this. With which he had documented. I'm confused. It sounds like to me that basically, from what I was reading in the comments, a group of freerunners are claimed to have assaulted someone who filmed them climbing on a roof.
Wow.
And the person went to hospital where they had various bruises and fortunately minor injuries.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like a huge...
No, but...
So they roughed them up.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody got roughed up for film. And I'm like, is that...
Well, that's hugely negative on our sport.
For sure. And I'm like, I want to know... Essentially, I want to know more before I make any judgment.
For sure, yeah.
Because
I'd like to hear more, if anyone knows.
It could quite easily be someone just, like, exaggerating a story where somebody was like, hey, stop filming me,
or it
whatever.
could be a massive misunderstanding, also.
Yeah. But then again, we do know of... I mean, we know of people who have been involved in... Yeah, I can't say much more than that. I mean, there's people who have... I've heard of stories about people getting beaten up, security fights, etc. Like, so it's the shit, and same happens.
Yeah.
And skateboarding as well. You see it, like you see people getting fucking assaulted with skateboards.
Mate, you see people hitting other people with skateboards, but But it doesn't mean that we should be following in that at all.
Exactly.
It's a terrible example.
Especially when it's like, oh, this competition in this ancient city where lots
I
of
definitely
publicity.
do think it was a bit of a bad idea changing it to Matera. I know it was cool, but
I think even Santorini was starting to get the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got in trouble.
There was complaints
I got in
from
trouble
the locals.
With going on the Santorini roofs, and I felt bad. Me and Max it's in one of the Santorini videos.
Yeah.
Some guy was telling us how like all of the buildings are like hundreds and hundreds of years old and all of this, and he was being really. He was like, I try and keep all of these like buildings clean. It's so expensive to come here. and all I could think was, fuck, I'm here for another 3 days. Like,
Yeah, and I'm just gonna be jumping.
I'm gonna be jumping.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no matter what you tell me, I'm gonna be jumping.
I've paid
on
money
it.
to come here. I want to do my bits.
Yeah, but I just felt bad, and
Yeah, it's about trading in a way that you still respect other people.
Yeah.
Well, you should be. It should be that if you're getting kicked off,
But it's like you should just
99%
for
of the
me,
time
you
you
should
should
just
be
leave.
moving on. Yeah.
Anyone who argues, I think, when you're in the wrong, when you're kicked off private property,
you
you're always in the wrong.
That's what I was thinking. Unless
You're
this
always
person,
you're always in the wrong.
Yeah.
You have no entitlement to feel like you can argue back because it's someone else's property. At the end of the day, you're risking yourself on their property. So if I'm asked to leave a spot, I will be as polite as possible and say yes, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless this person literally was just walking down, or like, unless this story is bullshit, if this came to any kind of physical alteration, at the end of the day, unless this was a psychopath on the street who attacked a parkour person as they were walking to the shop,
Yeah.
if it had anything to do with a parkour athlete climbing on anything, doing anything, and somebody then kind of got involved, the parkour athlete is somewhat in the wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
And things have gone wrong that probably minutes before could have been rectified if it went a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know any more details, so I'm really curious.
Yeah,
if
we
anyone,
don't know. Yeah, we
if
need to
anyone's
know.
got this far into the
And
podcast,
we don't know who it is either, so
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
we have no
I'm
idea.
quite glad we don't know who it is because that means we can talk about it. Do you know what I mean? We can talk about it how we want.
And also, the person who it is probably does not want everyone to know.
Yeah.
No, imagine if they're listening to this, like
No,
waiting
no.
for their
Sweating,
name to be
sweating.
said. They're like, oh, okay, they're done. My
Yeah,
name was
yeah.
not said. Yeah.
I mean, that concludes the parkour topics, but there's a couple of music topics that I had.
Stray's new album.
Well, that's one of them. So
fucking
wait, did
raw.
you see? Oh, there's a couple of things. Rage Against the Machine got back together.
No, I didn't see that. And also, I'm a fucking dumbass. 'Cause I didn't know they split up.
Well, this is
Neither
the thing.
did I, actually.
I saw Rage
Yeah.
Against the Machine at Reading
been-
like 10 years ago,
Mhm.
after they had already been split up for years, and then it's more of a reunion, I guess. I think they basically go on a hiatus, and they're like, yeah, we're going to chill out for a bit.
I hate the word split up because it sounds like they
sounds
always
like a
have an
fight.
argument. But
I think
maybe it was
hiatus
just
is the word, yeah.
so maybe they just they needed to have a break or something.
I think it's more just like...
Because if they had a reunion to play, they probably didn't split up on bad terms.
Exactly,
I hope
yeah.
not.
Well, they split up decades ago, or
Yeah.
maybe not decades, but years and years and years. Then they got back together and they did a few shows in the US, and then I saw them at Reading Festival, and it was fucking crazy, but also, I mean, it was everyone in the festival was in there. Like, I was trying to be near the front, and I basically died. Like, I had to leave halfway through because it was just, I was probably 16. It was way too intense
Yeah, way too much.
as a crowd. But it brings me to Stray because you get people who clearly never listen to heavy music
Yeah.
or listen to a splattering, and they're like, oh my god, Rage Against the Machine are back together, political rock, like fucking
Yeah.
they've got back together because they're gonna protest Trump and all this. And it's like, fucking, there are so many bands out there
Who are doing that?
who are doing the same fucking shit,
Yeah.
obviously not at the same scale because they just haven't sort of
Yeah.
managed to get there, but
Yeah.
like, political music has not gone away.
No, it's the people who they're
It's like the trend to like, I mean,
Yeah,
I love Rage Against the Machine. I love them for fucking
They are really
forever. And it's incredible that they're coming back together. Whether or not I mean, what I would like them to do is release new music, because
Yeah,
typically
that'd
they
be
get
really
back
cool.
together and just play shows, and
Very
everyone
cool.
loses their shit and then they disappear again.
Mm.
I would like to actually hear them talking about points.
Mm.
But political music is still fucking here, which is, I mean, Stray from the Path's new album is incredible.
On their podcast they were saying their podcast, sorry.
The Downbeat.
The Downbeat. They said they were having some like not hate messages, but people saying like, oh, they're not as political as their other albums and stuff, and then they're like, read the fucking lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
Every song is pretty much political.
Yeah.
And like and you know, it's some of the meanings behind. Like obviously, I have not looked up the lyrics, even though they have told me to. Personally,
I have.
No.
But
because it was only when I was on night shift. But from what they were saying, it's interesting.
I mean, I love.
Sorry, George. This is
not your realm.
not your
It's all
realm now.
good.
It's all right.
It's all good.
I got another band to talk about in a second that maybe we'll dig out some history on George. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's great that people are like, yes, Rage is back, because that's more support for a band who kind of are willing to stand on such a high platform and speak very, very bluntly about matters, which I think a lot of huge Because the biggest thing is you get like an Ed Sheeran, and he never opens his mouth and he's like, hey guys, this is a bit fucked up, or oh, don't do that. It's like, oh, here's another made up song about love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the
although,
music
although
where
I'm taking that. I've never even watched a live performance by Ed Sheeran or anything like that.
I mean, I personally
Has he-
quite like some of Ed Sheeran's music,
yeah,
and
so
I
do
think he's
I
very
think-
talented.
yeah,
And
Ed Sheeran is.
I think he's done-
I don't. Yeah, what I was going to say was I haven't listened to any of it, so I couldn't say if he does or doesn't. But
as
if
far
he-
as
if
I'm
he
aware, Ed Sheeran's never really stood on a stage and been like, fuck the current political state because they are murdering these people, or this atrocity is going on in the world, or
Yeah.
hey guys, like, I have 60 million followers on Instagram, maybe we should talk about this. I think he's probably played it fairly safe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong there, but what I expect from people on platforms of that size is to speak about the truths that are going on in the world.
Definitely.
Even if it pisses off a few of their fan base.
Yeah.
And there's so many incredible smaller, not even small, but smaller political bands who are doing this kind of thing. And I mean, straight from the path of the obvious one, because they sound a lot like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
If anyone likes Rage Against the Machine, check out
They
their album.
Will like Stray from the Path. It's a bit. I'd say Stray is a bit.
It's
More
heavier.
on the heaviest.
It's definitely
heavier side. The vocals are just, in most parts, ever so slightly similar.
It's less.
vocalists.
It's slightly less rappy, but there are rappy moments. But it's
But that's still kind of. It's a head bob. Kind of.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
get
yeah.
some head bobs in there, and that.
it's a bop.
Bop. But
But yeah, I don't know. It's. I just saw the day Rage Against the Machine got back together. There was so much stuff on Instagram of people like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "You don't listen to any other music like this,
yeah.
so don't like." Yeah, I mean, I guess there's childhood nostalgia of like, "Oh, I like this song from Tony Hawk's" or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah.
The other band who got back together on that same day, and I'm waiting for George to lose his shit here. This could be an exciting one.
Wait. So
What?
I don't know if he liked this band. He might not have even heard of them.
Who?
My Chemical Romance.
Oh. Well, I know I'm not a fan. I'm not a massive fan, but obviously I know they're.
I mean, neither was I, but they were the
They were
dominant.
very popular.
I mean,
like,
they
what,
were in
2006,
you know
2005.
yeah, no, I know them, but I'm just
What?
keep going. I
Yeah,
just want to see
2005, 2006.
if one of their songs.
They
is,
were
I
the-
swear they released
in
an
my
album
playlist.
that was massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Black
yeah.
Parade.
Yeah, Black Parade.
Yeah, they were the emo kings.
Yeah, it
Like,
was on Kerrang 24/7.
I was never actually.
I love
Kerrang,
Kerrang. It's
yeah.
good.
I would never say I got into My Chemical Romance, but
Yeah, but I did enjoy some of their music.
there's a song
for
called
sure.
"I'm Not Okay."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not okay. And he goes, "Trust me."
Yeah,
That one
yeah.
was a fucking banger.
I remember the music video.
Yeah,
It's
and they're-
them, yeah, I
in like
think
a
so.
school
Yeah, it's in a school,
room
yeah, and
kind
he's
of thing.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember. That's pretty cool.
but they were huge.
Yeah, they were massive.
I don't know if they've got back together or if they're just playing some shows. That's what I'm unsure about.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like people being fans of bands is like almost like an old school thing.
I don't know if it
Not
is.
old
I think.
school, not old school, but it seems to have been like back then. It was way more.
Well, I think
popular.
it's an age group thing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you go through
that's
an age
true.
group
Yeah,
where
yeah,
like
yeah.
you socially conform, because My Chemical Romance were the most defined. Like, people dressed like them, they looked like them, they styled their hair like them. I was never an emo, but like I definitely bought into the trend of like skinnier jeans.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah, me too.
my
for
hair,
sure.
I never really tried to do the whole fringe and all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Wait, so how are we? How old are you?
Young,
You're
like-
21, right?
Like young, like we were talking like 10. 11.
Yeah, you must have been really young.
Like young.
So
I used to bang out Kerrang flat out in the
But
house.
you know
I
you.
always had it on.
When I was
Yeah.
a young boy,
I always had it.
I got,
Yeah,
I
the
got,
music video, that the black and white and stuff at the
and it was
start.
like a 7-minute long song.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
that song, right?
No, that's so, well, I do, but that's so sad. I just thought I had some of their music saved.
You
but I
don't know that song?
No, I don't know that song. I've been looking up. Don't get the podcast fucking.
Okay, so-
what do you call it?
If you haven't listened to their
Muted.
music, check it out. I'm sure a lot of you will
I
remember.
got
I'm sure a lot
confused.
of people will remember.
Well, you know,
I got confused with Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh no.
No, but they were big
2006.
too. They were more heavy. They were, but for my Valentine's,
2006
a lot
was
more
the Black
heavy.
Parade.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2005, 2006.
So
is what
very
I thought.
occasionally, this is
Yeah,
my
that's
guilt.
Crazy.
It's not even a guilty pleasure. Very occasionally, I put on the Black Parade from.
Yeah.
If I'm on doing like, let's say I take you to the airport on Monday.
Yeah, you put
And I'm
on
driving
the way,
home.
The way back.
Very occasionally, I'll go through like my music on my phone, and I'll be like, "Fuck it," and I will never deny this that the Black Parade, it's a musical fucking opera.
Yeah, it really is.
The production on it, and the diverse. You know how like this, people are gonna hate me for comparing this to Queen, but you know how Queen has all the fucking crazy vocals over the place.
Yes.
Like you listen to some of these songs, the production. Hold up. There's this bit at the end of this song. I am not afraid to walk this way. All the. I fucking.
I know what you mean.
Very occasionally I listen to it and I'm like, this is actually fucking good music.
Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, for
gives you that feeling.
I definitely did enjoy. I definitely did enjoy.
And do you want to hear the worst story? And this is full podcast transparency, and we have to hope that Sarah is not outside the door right now.
Yeah.
This is full me getting out there on the edge of
I'm ready.
putting my soul on the line.
I'm ready.
Because I thought about this, because I wrote down, like, I was like, oh, these albums come out, we can talk about this inside of Music Minute. Welcome to the Black Parade. Probably the most... Have you never heard this, Keelan?
You will have
The
heard
most
it.
iconic piano intro. When I was a young boy. I lost my virginity to that song.
Oh, come on.
Not... I
Come on.
I love how I got a clap. Not intentionally, I'll give you... okay,
What do
so...
you mean not intentionally?
So what happened?
It was your favourite song. You put it on.
My girlfriend at the time... oh, God, I can't believe I'm telling this story. It was the right time. It was the moment, and we had the radio playing. My cleaner was downstairs.
Oh, your cleaner?
My cleaner.
Fancy boy Giles.
Yeah, I know. She was.
I didn't even think about that. Who the fuck has a cleaner? Who the fuck has?
She was called Sue. She was downstairs, and it was kind of that thing of like I've been with her for a while, and it was the right moment, and we kind of agreed. It was when it was like, okay, like are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this, okay? Like, you know, trusting.
Yeah.
Like, that moment, special. George went through this when he was about. I don't want to say how old.
12.
He actually said it as well.
But it was kind of emotional and things, and the radio was playing to cover up the noise. It was basically just as we decided, yes, that song started playing. And hold up, let me grab my phone.
But I can imagine that being awkward.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
can imagine that being an awkward.
Yeah.
That song is
song.
5 minutes and 11 seconds long, and so it started, and obviously it was like. Are you sure you want to do it? You know, getting
Of course.
full consent,
Full
sign-
consent.
Did it
signing
feel like
the
a scene?
signing the waiver, yeah, all emotional, and then, and we both
That
looked.
would have straight killed it for me, I think.
Exactly.
That would have
We-
straight killed it.
We
for
looked at
me.
each other and we were both like, "Fuck," and it was like, I
I have to do it anyway.
should have just got up and turned the radio, like change the radio channel, and it was like, yeah, and we waited maybe 30 seconds, and it was just like, well, we both want to, and it's the mood.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the mood was, I guess, swayed slightly.
Yeah, swayed is an understatement for me.
Yeah, and I would imagine probably about by this point,
What, it was over?
it was over. No,
Mind you-
it definitely wasn't over at that point. It was about 30 seconds in, but yeah. So there's a incredibly revealing truth. But go listen to that album and think of me having sex for the first time.
Poor Sue. She might
Just what
have,
everyone wants.
She probably
might have
heard
waited.
it as well.
You wouldn't be able to hear if she was coming up the stairs.
Well, not
Poor-
when it's
poor
not. I mean,
Sue.
not when it kicks in. Listen to this. Like,
Yeah, no, exactly.
that's the pace there. You're like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was dangerous when I think about it.
Yeah,
that
that
was
is
dangerous. That was dangerous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Poor Sue's probably like, oh, there's like loud music going on. I'll probably just come in there and like.
No, I had a lock on my door.
Oh, okay, that's
I was
good.
not. I went to the DIY shop and bought my own lock and put it on my door.
Good. Very, very smart.
I'm not a fool.
I never had a lock on my door.
You didn't care.
No, I definitely did care.
Just a rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Should we end it there? And I'll probably wake up tomorrow morning and be like, why the fuck did I say that?
Yeah.
Sarah doesn't listen to the podcast.
She doesn't. Thankfully, Sarah doesn't listen to podcasts. Not. I mean, everyone's had sort of
What?
like it's not the end of the world to
Yeah,
discuss these
Why,
topics.
why hasn't she listened to the podcast?
Because she doesn't want to hear about me losing my virginity. That's and talking about in most podcasts we talk about poo within 30
Sarah
seconds.
has to listen to all of us boys talk enough shit.
Mate, I
Total
listen.
guff.
I listened
Without listening to the podcast.
I listened
She puts
to
up
our
with
5th
enough.
or 6th ever podcast when it was with Max,
Pure guff.
and I actually like, you know, the one where we pulling in. Well, we don't do it, but we talk about pulling a hamster inside out.
Yes.
Don't even remember that. I listened to that at work and actually was laughing out loud. Like, my boss came past my aisle and I just went, and then he looked at me and there was not enough time for me to explain, so I just carried on stacking shelves.
Oh no.
But like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But halfway through, it does get a bit like, wow, this is a bit of a weird podcast.
It was off the rails.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that has been the Motus Prodcast, which we once again forgot to intro at the start. I listen to so many podcasts and they're like, set intro music, intro the title of the show, talk about what they're going to talk about, etc., etc.
Did you listen to Matt?
Jesus Christ, sorry, what did you just do?
That was really bad.
Just chinned the microphone.
I fucking touched my head, so I came back. Sorry, do you listen to Matt Diavella's? Is it Diavella?
I have listened to some, yes.
Yeah, his are fairly professional.
Yeah, but
then it's okay. I always go back to the downbeat and I'm like, oh, it's actually alright.
People don't follow this shit for professionality.
No.
Finish.
Do we outro music or?
We can outro music. I mean, I'll just tack that on the end. But Prodcast 10. Somebody actually just messaged and said, "Do we use that for analytics?" And it's like, no, we just give 10% off to the people who listen to the podcast because they have to put up with listening to this shit.
Yeah.
George, finish us off.
You put a lot of pressure on me.
I know.
I don't know what to say.
Sometimes life comes along and it puts pressure on you, and you have to,
I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. Thank you for listening.
Weak. Love you lots. Bye.